Hi, friends. We're going to learn today about a holiday called the Lunar New Year. It's a lot like the New Year that we celebrate, and it's celebrated by people in other parts of the world and in our country as well. So I have a story called Lanterns and Firecrackers, and it's going to tell us a little bit about what the Lunar New Year is and how people celebrate it. So, Lanterns and Firecrackers. Our author is John Zucker. He wrote the story. And our illustrator is Jan Barger Cohen. She drew the pictures. She is our illustrator. Okay, it's also called the Chinese New Year. Soon it will be Chinese New Year. We're cleaning our home and putting flowers everywhere. We set off firecrackers to scare away any bad spirits to welcome in the new year. It's the first day and I'm wearing new clothes for the new and good things to come. My brother and I are each given an envelope with money inside. The envelopes are red, a color of good luck. Today, our family and friends bring food and drink. We sit down and enjoy a great feast. We watch the amazing lion and dragon dances. On the last day of the festival, we hang up the lanterns outside and wish for good luck in our special new year. So they hung lanterns. That's interesting because we're learning about light. Would lanterns give us light? A lantern is a lot like a lamp. So yes, it would give us light. So for our science experiment this week, we're going to make a lantern. So last week we talked about how light either reflects off of an object or passes through an object or the object blocks the light. So let's see, I have a flashlight and let's use the book that we just read, okay? So we have the book and we have the flashlight and let's see, does the light go through the book or does the book block the light? That's right, friends, the book blocks the light. So that means that if we wanted to make a lantern, we wouldn't want to make it out of this kind of material because the light wouldn't shine through and it wouldn't light up the dark. And that's what a lantern is supposed to be for. It's supposed to be to give us light in the dark, just like a lamp or a ceiling light. So let's see. I also have a plastic and a glass jar. I'm going to flip this around and lower this down. So I have a plastic jar and a glass jar. So let's make a prediction. Knowing what we know about light and from our experiment last week, do you think that if I shine the flashlight through, will it pass through? Will it reflect? Or will the glass jar block the light? So let's see if this is something that we can use to make our lantern. Oh, it passes through. It reflects a little bit too, which is okay, but it also passes through. Let's try the plastic jar too. Yeah, I think these would be two very good objects to use to make our lantern. So first you need something to use as your lantern. So a plastic container or a glass container would be great. And we want to use a little light. So I have that will fit inside. So these are little tea lights that we can buy at the dollar store. And it has a little switch on the bottom and it's operated by a battery. And when you turn it on, it gives light. So let's see if we put it in there. We can see it, right? Because this is a clear jar. It's made out of glass, so the light will shine through. these are kind of boring, right? They're not pretty. Those lanterns, let's take a look at the lanterns in the story. The lanterns in the story were pretty. They had different colors. I really want to make a pretty lantern. So I have some tissue paper. And let's get that tissue paper that I've cut up into squares. But you don't have to use squares. You can rip it, you can tear it, you can do it any way you want. And we're going to glue it to the jars to make a pretty lantern. So first I want to protect the table that I'm going to be working on because I don't want to get glue everywhere. So I'm going to put down some paper towels so that I don't make too much of a mess. And then I have glue, but it's special glue. It's called Mod Podge. And this glue, it goes on, when you'll see when we put it on, it's white, but when it dries, it's clear. Because, look at that, see that gooey glue? I don't think that light would penetrate through that. And we need the light to be able to penetrate through our lantern so that in a dark room it gives us light. And I also have a paintbrush to use to put the glue onto our lantern. And I have lots and lots of strips of tissue paper. And I'm using tissue paper because it's not as thick as regular construction paper, right? The kind of paper we use to draw on. So I'm hoping that when it's all done, the light will shine through. I'm not sure that it will. We can try different kinds of paper to see, but that's going to be your job to do in your science experiment, okay? So let's see. So I'm going to take the plastic jar, and I'm going to dip, 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 wipe, wipe, wipe of my glue. And then I'm going to spread, spread like butter on bread. Dip, 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 wipe, 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 spread, spread like butter on bread. Excuse me, friends. And I would not cover the whole thing at one time because then your hands are going to get all sticky and yucky. And then I'm going to use the cap as a seat to hold my paintbrush so that I don't get glue everywhere. And then I'm just going to start to put down my pieces of tissue paper. And you can use any color tissue paper that you want. You can cut them or rip them into any shape, and you can lay them down any way you want because this is going to be your lantern. Okay? And then once you have some laid down, you want to put more of the Mod Podge glue on top. And I know that it looks pretty white right now, but I'll show you how it dries. It dries so it's clear. And do you see how it folds down over here? So we're going to put some down here so it sticks also, and we don't have any loose pieces sticking up. All right, so now that I have that part covered, I'm going to put my hand inside the jar so it doesn't get all sticky. And I'm going to start to do another section of my lantern. And again, dip, 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 wipe, 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 spread, spread like butter on bread. Then I'm going to put my paintbrush down in the cap so I don't get glue everywhere. And I'm going to put more pieces of tissue paper right on top. And again, any color you want, any pattern you want, you can rip them up any way you want. This is going to be your lantern, so it's all up to you. And then again, dip, 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 wipe, 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 spread, spread like butter on bread. Dip, dip, wipe, wipe, spread, spread like butter on bread. And don't forget to get the bottom. So I'm going to finish this later, but I want to show you one that I already finished. So I'm going to put my paintbrush down, and look, I'm going to put my jar down. I'm not going to put it this way because I have glue on the bottom. I'm going to put my jar down this way to let it dry. So let's see, I have the top on the bottom to let it dry. So let's see one that I finished already. This is a jar that I finished already. So this was a glass jar. And do you see how it dried clear? So you don't see all that white gloppy glue. Now I already have some tea lights in there, but I'm not going to turn them on and show you whether it works or not to shine through, because I want you to make your own predictions and for you to do your own experiment and see if using the tissue paper allows the light to shine through and make a lantern that we can use in the dark. Or do we have to use a different kind of material in order for it to shine through? Okay, friends, I hope you'll send me pictures of your finished product and let me know whether your lantern allows the light to penetrate so that we can use it in a dark room to give us a little bit of light. Happy Lunar New Year. Bye.